I still think about him. Hisuian forms the regional variants introduced in Pokemon Legends Arceus, which took place way in Pokemon's past, but were seemingly absent from modern day, leading many of us to think that they have become extinct in some way, at least in terms of lore, because when you can transfer Pokemon, anything is possible. So now, having had 2 games come out after Pokemon Legends Arceus, each with their own DLC, and with Pokemon Generation 9 on its way out and potentially Generation 10 coming this year, why not take a look back and see which Hisuian Pokemon were implemented in the modern day, and which ones have been lost to the harsh lands of Hisui. Obviously, every Hisuian Pokemon and Hisuian evolution are available in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, in the sense that you can use Pokemon Home to transfer them up from Pokemon Legends Arceus, but for the most part, a lot of these Pokemon you can't really catch in a modern day game, and a lot of them you can't really evolve either. Like, yeah, you can catch a Stantler, but the only way to evolve it into Weirdeer is in Pokemon Legends Arceus. So starting things off with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, one of the very first events allowed us to receive a Hisuian Zoroark. Now, I don't know if this necessarily brings it back from extinction or anything, but the fact that this specific Pokemon originated from Generation 9, rather than Generation 8 like the old ones did, and it was available before Pokemon Home implementation, I guess I would count it. In a similar vein, we had some events for the starter Pokemon, Typhlosion, Samurott, and Decidueye, and these were done as raid battle events, sort of technically making them catchable in the modern day, but where things really began to take shape were the DLC of the Teal Mask. First of all, we meet Perrin, who has a Hisuian Growlithe, and she even has 2, so we know that that Pokemon survived to modern day. Then of course she even tells us about Ursaluna, stating that they're just rare, implying that more of them exist, and we do get to see one ourselves, at least the Blood Moon version, which is a 1 of 1. And lastly, in the Teal Mask, we're able to just catch White Stripe Basculin and evolve it into Basculegion. Then when it came to the Indigo Disc DLC, bringing us the Terrarium, here we can find Kleavor just hanging out, as well as Hisuian Quillfish, which we can then evolve into Overquill. So again, some more Pokemon that happen to stick around. Quillfish, I don't know what the explanation is, maybe it just became very rare, and so now it is cultivated in the terrarium, but when it came to Kleavor, I theorized that the item that allows it to evolve in Hisui, the Black Augerite, just became very rare. Thus again, in the terrarium, where you can cultivate an environment, they were able to just find Black Augerite and keep it there, which allows some of them to evolve, I guess. The point is that now for DLC in Scarlet and Violet, things were starting to take shape, and during this time, the final piece became the Mass Outbreak events, which eventually brought us Hisuian Voltorb as well as Hisuian Sliggoo, and their associated evolutions. No real explanation, and being an event, I don't really know how to consider the canonicity of it, but you know, just like the Clefairy one that had some very nice lore, I'm just gonna accept it as them becoming very rare and showing up on occasion. And now jumping ahead to Pokemon Legends ZA with the Mega Dimension DLC, the added weirdness of Hyperspace Lumiose allowed us to encounter some of these Hisuian forms as well. Hisuian Quillfish is there yet again, which means Overquill is too, but as you would expect, we can also find Hisuian Sliggoo, Goodra, and Avalugg. Being Pokemon that originally debuted in the Kalos region, it makes total sense for their alternate forms to be available as well, and doing so through Hyperspace Lumiose is a nice way to sort of circumvent the lore, because Hyperspace Lumiose is a manifestation of the memories and dreams of people in Lumiose City, so I guess people just dreamt about them or really wanted them and caused them to manifest here. Though again, we had already seen Quillfish and Sliggoo catchable in Scarlet and Violet, so being able to catch Avalugg is really the big addition, but you'll notice that leaves out Hisuian Braviary, Hisuian Lilligant, Hisuian Sneasel and Sneasler, and finally the most iconic, Weirdeer. Like I said, yes, these Pokemon are in Scarlet and Violet as long as you transfer them through Pokemon Home, but they have yet to be catchable in a video game set in modern day, or able to evolve from their previous form in a game that isn't Legends Arceus. So at the very least, we can say that nobody has discovered any of these in the modern day, but I totally imagine that in the DLC for Generation 10 they'll show up in some way, maybe. And it isn't really something that matters a whole lot, but it is just really funny and interesting that there is no canonical way to encounter any of these Pokemon in the modern day. Have they adapted? Have they gone extinct? Or are they hiding out somewhere else? I just really do enjoy seeing the different ways they're going to be implementing these Pokemon, because Legends Arceus really is the outlier of every Pokemon game, taking place in the past, and having regional variants that technically aren't even regional variants and more so time-based variants, which with Legends ZA taking place 5 years after X and Y we really didn't see. Like even in general, there are no Colossean regional forms. That is because all the new Pokemon they really wanted to focus on were brand new Mega Evolutions, which had a canonical reason to be created within the last 5 years and not exist in the originals. And of course I really did enjoy all the new Mega Evolutions, but I end up getting a little chuckle every time I see a Hisuian Pokemon just show up. We have definitely seen them in all the spin-off games here and there, and even in some of the soft canon ones like Pokemon Go and Pokemon Masters, those games are already filled with a a bunch of other distortions going on, so that's an easy way to explain things, but I find the ones a little more interesting that just have the Pokemon appearing out in the wild and leave it all up to your interpretation. Like White Stripe Basculin appearing in the Timeless Woods alongside the Blood Moon Beast is just perfect, and I just really do love how everything was handled in the DLC for all the Hisuian Pokemon. But for the outliers like Braviary, Sneasler, and Weirdeer, I can totally see them still existing in some far off northern place that we have yet to visit. Hisuian Lilligant, I'm not exactly sure, maybe they just decided to change their style, but moving forward as we head into Pokemon's 30th anniversary and the potential Generation 10, I really do want to see how these end up getting handled, though I totally expect them to just show up as some sort of mass outbreak in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because that game still has at least a year worth of a lifespan, so maybe this video really will just age poorly, and honestly that's what I hope for. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Which Hisuian Pokemon or evolution is your favorite, and which one had your favorite implementation in the modern day? But for the moment, let me get back to praying for Weirder because I really just hope they're okay, man. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, including the Great Gators, Alex Switch Shiny Hunts, KoiKoi13, Cemetery Hill, Cheez-It62, GatorKid509, TF, Mathaclog947, Taijirai, Phantom, and Quago. If you'd like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes for comments, live streams, sometimes early videos, join a members Discord, and listen to the podcast as it comes out, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I will catch you all later.